Bad Influence, a brand new series, amazing new titles, fantastic new sets, same old presenters.
We're hot though, Andy.
We are.
And so are the Bad Influence review panel. Our main review today is Donkey Kong on the Super Game Boy.
No more typing.
Finish him! Finish him!
We ought to get gripped with the long-awaited for Mortal Kombat 2.
And I've come to Laguna Beach in California to meet the creator of the most exciting video game this year, Earthworm Jim.
Hello, slimy turtlers, and welcome to my new show, my new home in the basement, and my new job as Chief Techie Furtler to the stars. And you'll be excited to know you can now join the Namrood fan club. Just send a postal order for £57 to Namrood, Furtler to the stars, the basement, Bad Influence. And by return of post, you'll get a Furtling anorak, a signed photo of me, and a copy of the Namrood CD-ROM. So, while I'm waiting for all the letters to come pouring in, here's a cheat to be getting on with. It's for stitching on the Mega Drive. On the warning screen, press B-A down A and start twice. Then, on the password screen, enter Liberty, and you'll start racing in New York. Hey! Oh, my first fan letter! Dear Nam, you are sad and pathetic, and I wouldn't join your fan club even if you paid me. Love, Mum.
You put me down for life membership. Right, we start the new series with a major breakthrough in games technology. You can now play Tetris in colour. It's all to do with this new bit of kit here. It's called the Super Game Boy, which allows you to play your Game Boy games through the SNES. Dead simple to use. Take your cartridge out, pop the new cartridge in here, slot the whole thing into the SNES, and then the Super Game Boy expands the game to fit your TV and gives it colour as well. How do you make a black and white game into colour? Well, if you look very carefully at your Game Boy games, you'll see that they're not actually black and white. They're 4 different shades of grey, and what the Super Game Boy does is allocate a different colour for each of those particular shades. And it's interesting to see how they come out. You've seen Tetris, this is Super Mario Land, this is Goal, this is Zelda, which is a bit green, and this is Kirby's Pinball Land, which I think looks quite funky, actually. But what if you don't like the colours that the computer selects for you? Well, you can change them. If you just press left and right together on the controller, you can get to this colour palette down the bottom of the screen, and there are lots of different selections that you can have. Each of these 8 selections has 4 palettes, and the 4 palettes have 4 colour options, so there are 32 different options. You can also doodle on it as well if you like, because there's a little paint package here over the side. So, by selecting a crayon and a colour, you can draw all around the edge of your game. All very impressive, but is it worth 50 quid? Well, our games panel certainly thought so, but personally, if I had 50 quid to spare, I think I'd spend it on a new game for my SNES.
On the other hand, there are quite a few excellent Game Boy games around, and it's great to be able to see them properly. Some Game Boy games are being written specifically with the Super Game Boy in mind, and this is one of the first, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is the original video game veteran, having first appeared in the arcades in 1981. In the 1994 version of this puzzly platformer, Mario has to rescue the helpless Pauline, whoever she is, and the game has a massive 104 levels. Not bad for a 25 quid game, but is it as fun to play as the original? Here's Alex.
This is a smart puzzle game. The first 4 levels are a bit dull, but once you get through them, things improve dramatically. I'm into the main body of the game now, and this is where the puzzles get a lot more exciting. You can do a really snazzy move on this washing line. If you press up, you spin round and round, and then I can get onto the level above. There's loads of things to do, loads of bonuses to collect. The thing I'm going for is that key. Oh, I missed it. You can pick up the bin, kill the pigs, that's loads of fun. This is a bonus level, which really varies the gameplay. This is a fruit machine. What you've got to do is stop the wheels and get the same symbols, and then you win extra lives. I've got nothing. Oh, 1 up. This is a star game, and it looks even better on the Super Game Boy. I'm hooked.
I love it. The puzzles are great, and the monkey's real cute too.
This is the game to have. It's nearly perfect.
And so the final scores for Donkey Kong. Both the boys and the girls gave it a maximum 5 out of 5.
Our panel is made up of expert games players who, unlike the journalists who write reviews for the magazines, actually buy games. Now, the mark given by the panel mainly reflects one aspect of the game, and that's playability, or, if you like, the fun factor. Under our new system, Tetris would get a 5. The graphics and sound couldn't be simpler, but it's addictive to play. On the other hand, the beautiful-looking microcosm on the Mega CD would get a 1. Driving a craft that you have very little control over through various similar internal passages is about as much fun as helping Namrud catalogue his anorak collection. The reason for this emphasis on playability is that nowadays, with all the new hardware around, it's virtually impossible to write a bad-looking and sounding game. It still takes talent, though, to come up with excellent and exciting and fresh ideas. And in this week's American report, Z Wright met one of the best games producers in the world.
I've come to Southern California on an important mission to track down the famous games producer, David Perry. He's British. He programmed 2 major hits of the last 2 years, Cool Spot and Aladdin. And he set up his new company, Shiny Entertainment, right here in Laguna Beach. And this is Shiny's first game, Earthworm Jim. Jim is not like other superheroes. He's an earthworm. And this is Dave Perry. He's not like other games programmers. He's very tall.
Look, man, California rule number 1.
Goodness.
You don't wear your new training shoes on the beach.
And I was only walking that close to the water because the director told me to. When Dave was at Virgin, he invented a new programming technique called Digicel. It's Digicel that gives the characters in Aladdin their famously fluid feel. Earthworm Jim takes the technique one stage further with a process called Animotion.
Basically, Animotion, instead of drawing our graphics just using the computer, we've gone back to the old-fashioned way of drawing everything by hand, so we use real animators.
It seems such a good idea to get Dave to explain Animotion on the basketball court. Only problem is, how do you get them to stop playing? As Dave attempted to explain, Animotion means you never have to type numbers into the computer again. All the drawings can be done by hand, the old-fashioned way, on transparent cells. The cells can then be digitized into the computer. The original story for Earthworm Jim was drawn as a cartoon comic strip. It tells how Jim was quietly doing earthwormy things when a cybernetic spacesuit fell on top of him, and he couldn't get it off. The suit controls him and forces him to play the role of superhero. Now he's stuck with saving the planet from weird and wonderful baddies, including his arch-rival, Cyclone.
The good thing about being an earthworm is the earthworm, you can actually use the head as an extra arm, which lets you fire in all directions while traveling. This level's called Snot the Problem. The reason is you're finding a guy called Major Mucus over a big pool of snot. The object of it is to actually push him into the walls and rip the slime off him. The other thing is we have this great big creature at the bottom, which is trying to bite you in half. There we go. Okay, then Earthworm Jim heads underwater. He goes down the tubes. We have things like these large cats protecting the tubes. And you have to, the only way to avoid them is to jump up, lift your bottom out of the way, and drop back down again. They're a bit stupid, you see.
You
but
can't shoot them?
they're also very tough, so if they get a hold of you,
Ooh,
you beat the daylights out of them. The puzzle is very simple. You see this little creature and you think, I wonder how you get past this, and try whipping it and shooting it, and you beat you senseless. All you need to do is go and get yourself a hamster out of the hole, and jump on its back, and then bite the creatures.
Earthworm Jim is going to take over the world next year. As well as a range of figures and toys, he'll have his own cartoon TV series. Oh, and of course, next year's big game, Earthworm Jim 2.
Great looking game, exclamation mark. Go to sleep.